Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the first Prime Minister and later President of Ghana, was a prominent figure in the struggle for African independence and a leading advocate of Pan-Africanism. His strong political stance and efforts to lead Ghana towards socialism made him a target of several assassination attempts. Here's an overview of the most significant attempts on his life. 1. The 1958 grenade attack. By 1958, Kwame Nkrumah had established himself as a powerful leader following Ghana's independence in 1957. However, his increasing authoritarianism and policies were beginning to generate opposition. On August 1, 1958, Nkrumah was attending a public event in Accra when a grenade was thrown at him. The grenade, which exploded, killed a bodyguard who shielded Nkrumah and injured several others. Nkrumah survived the attack unharmed. The incident highlighted the growing domestic opposition to his rule, especially among factions within the military and political elites. 2. The Kolangyogo bombing 1962. The Kolangyogo bombing is known as the most infamous assassination attempt on Nkrumah occurred on August 1, 1962, in Kolangyogo, a village in the Upper East region of Ghana. This attempt came at a time when Nkrumah's government was increasingly consolidating power, and tensions were rising within the country. Nkrumah was returning from a trip to Upper Volta, now Burkina Faso, and stopped at Kolangyogo to greet school children and local supporters. As he was about to receive a bouquet of flowers from a young girl, a bomb hidden in the bouquet exploded. Nkrumah was severely injured but survived the attack. Several others were killed or injured in the explosion. The aftermath of the Kolangyogo bombing led to a major crackdown on perceived opponents, with Nkrumah's government using the incident to justify the arrest and detention of political enemies, including members of the opposition and even some within his own party. This attempt on his life significantly hardened Nkrumah's stance against dissent and further justified his increasingly authoritarian rule. 3. The Flagstaff House shooting 1964. By 1964, Nkrumah had declared Ghana a one-party state and himself as president for life, which deepened the discontent among his opponents. His radical economic policies, coupled with his suppression of dissent, alienated many, including sections of the military. On January 2, 1964, a member of Nkrumah's own security detail, Constable Seth Amatwi, attempted to assassinate him. Amatwi fired several shots at Nkrumah as he entered Flagstaff House, the presidential residence. Although Nkrumah was struck by the bullets, he survived, with the shots only grazing him. Following the shooting, Amatwi was arrested, and the incident further fueled Nkrumah's paranoia about his safety. In response, Nkrumah increased his personal security and became even more repressive, implementing stricter controls over the military and the police to prevent any future threats to his life. The increasing paranoia and fall of Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. The repeated assassination attempts intensified Nkrumah's sense of paranoia. He increasingly surrounded himself with a loyal inner circle and relied heavily on his security forces. His government became more repressive, with frequent arrests of real or suspected opponents under the Preventive Detention Act, which allowed for indefinite detention without trial. The coup and overthrow, despite surviving multiple assassination attempts, Nkrumah's leadership came to an abrupt end on February 24, 1966, when he was overthrown in a military coup while on a state visit to North Vietnam and China. The coup was orchestrated by elements within the Ghanaian military and police, supported by the CIA, which had long been concerned about Nkrumah's leftist policies and growing influence in Africa. Exile and legacy. After the coup, Nkrumah lived in exile in Guinea, where he was given the honorary title of co-president by his friend, President Ahmed Sékou Touré. He never returned to power and died in exile in 1972. Despite the attempts on his life and his eventual overthrow, Nkrumah remains a revered figure in Ghana and across Africa for his role in the independence movement and his vision of African unity. The assassination attempts on Kwame Nkrumah illustrate the intense opposition he faced during his rule, driven by both domestic discontent and international geopolitical tensions. These events were pivotal in shaping his policies and the trajectory of his leadership until his eventual overthrow.